Hi.
I don't have the long hair to do that, man. I just don't. It doesn't work for me.
So every day I pick a different music. Well, we have our theme music, but I pick a different dance decade to dance to. So I'm not sure what that was. It started out like I wanted it to be like metal.
You wanted to rock it out.
I wanted to rock it out, but it got a little crazy in there. I don't know what was going on. Hi, happy Monday, Frank.
Happy Monday, Nazareth.
And everybody, happy Monday.
Happy day 63. Welcome to episode 57. Naz, we're catching up to some years here. In numbers, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Almost my birthday years. I
know. Welcome to Live from Rabs, from inside what we've dubbed as the insane asylum of Rabs Country Lanes.
But it's a scary insane asylum because it's quiet.
Yes.
So it's
we have Jimmy and Michael back to make some noise in the background, so it's not as quiet. But we don't have a studio audience today.
No, it's quiet.
No extra guests. Tuesday through Saturday, we do have Marco and Tina gracing us with their presence.
They'll be back from Tuesday to Saturday, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Tuesday to Saturday. Yesterday, I left, so I went in the back to check on Michael. Michael was hanging out, and I said goodbye. I don't know. 10 minutes later, after I left, Michael texted me, and why is it so quiet? Where is everybody? Isn't it Saturday? No, Michael. He thought yesterday was Saturday. And there was no pizza, no nothing. He just...
It probably put a dent in his eating plans, too.
He came up to say hello, and everybody was gone. Welcome, and thanks for joining us today. We've got some awesome guests today. We've been talking baseball, and we'll talk some more baseball today with some great guys that lead the Staten Island Yankees. Brian, a great question. And we're going to touch a little bit on that today. So talent show of voting is going to open soon. However, we're going to extend the submission deadline.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, what we learned through the process.
Yes, some of the people were trying to upload files
and couldn't get them through. Yeah. So we weren't able to get all the videos through the website, which I thought was set up to take larger files, and it's not. So it's really weird. I've got some large files and then some truncated files. So we're going to open it up and change the way that some people can send in their videos to make it a little bit easier. So we're going to follow up by tomorrow with additional information, just trying to do some little research on it. But I want better quality. We're not the quality video because they get truncated.
Right. It is.
They're not great.
That's not fair to them,
right? And so it created a little barrier of entry for some folks when they got to the form. Yeah. Poor Nancy. I don't know if Nancy's watching today. Nancy was having a hard time. She told us it took her 3 hours to try to get the video through.
She barged in on bingo.
She did
to ask about it.
So we're gonna reopen the submission, fix the video uploading link, and then we'll get back in there.
And we'll share that again, too, so for those who are interested in submitting.
For Rabs Got Talent, because we want to showcase your talent and crown a champion. Speaking of talent. Quick, last night was the finale of American Idol. Now, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I caught enough to know what happened. I watched hometown girl Julia rock it, just not rock it enough.
She didn't sing last night, though.
No, but she was, we wanted for her to advance and get there. And
oh, yeah, she was great. She really, you know what? I have to say, I thought that was a very talented group of artists. Yeah. And listen, it's hard. In a way, I'm happy the way they vote, that it really is the people voting.
Yeah.
Because they would have been open to a lot of scrutiny.
Yep.
I believe that's why they let people vote. But yeah, she was great, and I honestly think that this happens with very talented people, that people just go, they're going to win, and they don't vote, and then they don't vote, and the person doesn't win.
Right.
They just, she's a shoo-in. She's definitely going to make the top five, and then I'll vote when it's that. But You can't do
You
that.
can't. No, you can't.
If that person is if they're your person, you got to vote. And that's a shame. Listen, she's gonna have a great career.
She really is.
She is super great.
She's got the look. She's got the package. She's got the voice, the talent.
She definitely.
She's gonna make it far. And you know what I have to say? Hometown girl, New York City.
Yeah.
Just Sam.
Yeah.
Not
she
Sam.
Was really good too.
Just Sam.
She was. It was so nice to see like how excited her grandmother was. Yeah. That was you know, and I think that's one of the things that Idol is really good at. You know, telling the story behind the people. And listen, if any of those 5 would have won, I don't think it would have been. It wouldn't have been a surprise. They were all great.
They really were
super talented.
And the thing, though, she's glad she got dressed for the first song. We're not. I already ranted yesterday. We're not going to rant anymore about it.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, but you had to believe that she was going to be one that was destined to win. Her story from the
beginning.
Yeah, Lionel took her under the wing, and
Uncle
Lionel, just Papa said, "Hey, I'm going to help you along," and her story really is incredible.
Yeah, and she's so talented.
She is, and you know, I hate to say this, but partially it was so good, it was a little unbelievable at first because she just came off. I did say that. I bet she grew on me. Her story's great. Right. They did a great job at telling it, and so congratulations to just Sam. Yeah. But you know, she is a hometown. She's not our Staten Island girl, but she is a New York City gal.
Got a tremendous talent in the city.
Yes,
in our city of New York. Just not any basketball talent, unfortunately.
I do want to throw a shout out to our Congressman Max Rose. He today is sponsoring a bill, the COVID-19 Youth Sports and Working Families Relief Act, that was presented, one with the National Council of Youth Sports, a group that I currently serve on the board of directors for, put this forward in the beginning of all this. And so what I learned this morning is Max is championing the bill, presenting it on the floor. So thank you to Max. It's something that's necessary for youth sports organizations to get through this time.
So what is
there's
the bill?
Relief opportunities within it for youth sports organizations.
Because I could imagine that this is going to bankrupt. I could only imagine leagues and like little leagues, and you know, I can't even. The financial fallout of them losing probably 2 to 3 seasons of players and income, and it's not just that year that you lose; it's the ripple effect of following years. You know, so it's listen. I hope that gets passed, and you know, these leagues can kind of get a little boost and keep going, because the youth sports are important.
Yeah, and for anybody that's involved in a youth sports organization, you should all be receiving a letter to send to support, to push the other members of Congress to look at. So we certainly have signing it and sending it in, even though our congressman is the one championing the effort. In a message to him today, I said thank you, and he wrote back, and you know, he's a real guy. He just says, "Hey,
very responsive,
happy to help. Always consider me to be a supporter." And so, you know what, for youth sports, that means a lot.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
To have somebody, an elected official on your side. So I just wanted to say thank you, Max, and to those that have supported. And if you are involved in an organization, please consider looking it up, learning about it, and then sending a letter to your officials. Anyway, so we got 2 great guests today. These guys are awesome. They run the show at the Staten Island Yankees. We have Will Smith with us today, guys. It's a joke that this poor guy will hear for the rest of his life. But the Will Smith. And
really, I think he kind of likes it.
Nothing
against Will. He could have changed it to Bill Smith. But and people remember, they hear Will Smith, they don't forget who he is. They don't forget.
And of course, TJ. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey everyone, how are you?
Good.
We're doing all right. Hey Will, you're in the yard, it looks like.
I am. I'm in the yard. I
My kids are inside. They just got back. They're doing some school. I've been trying to, I told TJ, I've been taking calls and Zoom calls and calls all over the house, wherever I can find good Wi-Fi and quiet. So it's nice out today. It's not too bright. It's no bugs. It's nice. So yeah, outside today.
He's the Fresh Prince. Yes, he's Staten Island's Fresh Prince. And TJ, are you at home or are you in the office? Are you being?
No, I'm at my apartment right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm going into the ballpark like 2-3 times a week, doing stuff there. But I'm at home right now.
Yeah, and you know somebody, and I want to address this first. TJ, this is a new role for you.
Yeah.
And so congratulations. And I know we've gotten the opportunity to speak and work together. And, you know, folks are asking about Jane, and knowing that Jane's been a staple of that organization for a long time, and she still is. You want to talk a little bit about Jane's new role there?
Yeah, she's the senior VP of baseball operations. So she handles our relationship with the New York Yankees, all the players that come in, the travel, all their arrangements and everything. So, yeah, Jane is still here. She's been here since day one. So still with the Staten Island Yankees.
She's awesome. Hey, when I start with Will first, just tell me, how are things at home? How are we holding up during all of this? As us New Yorkers say, all this shit happening around us.
Yeah, we're holding up okay. I mean, we've been doing a lot of obviously a lot of education at home. My wife actually lost both of her part-time jobs. So thank goodness, because she's been able to kind of teach our two children at home every day as we get through this. So it's been hard. It's certainly been difficult being under the same roof all the time. It's been great in a lot of ways. We've done a lot of things together that's been kind of back to normal, back to basics, which is good. But I think we're chomping at the bit a little bit.
Yeah, I think, aren't we all, right? Sorry to, hey, listen, you know what? A teacher is the new job for everybody.
I tell you, it's something else to see it and try to understand it. And we've been in touch with their teachers as well, and their teachers can't stand it either. I mean, they don't like this business of trying to teach from home without that interaction and just without seeing that. You realize how much our teachers really do appreciate the interaction with our students, which is fantastic, because I don't think I could pull it off. So it's been hard. It's been hard too. I heard you talking about Max Rose right before we came on here, just with respect to that bill you said, Frank, and youth sports, and just it's been such a trying time for that as well too. You know, that's the one thing that frankly gives us a lot of social interaction, and without that, save for that, we don't have much, frankly. So with our community and with our friends and families and stuff like that, and for our kids too, and so. It's been hard. It's been really hard to keep them bottled up, I think, more than anything. So that's why we try to take advantage of outside as much as possible.
Yeah. What about you, TJ? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I actually live by myself in my apartment here in Jersey, but I go into the stadium, like I said, 2-3 times a week. It's good to get there and see the ballpark. You know, we're mowing the field. Field looks great right now. Unfortunately, with nobody playing on it, but it does look really good. And you know, still getting ready for when we're able to play baseball next on it. But yeah, I'm going in, making sure everything's good there, and fulfilling merch orders and things like that. We've run a couple of promotions with different merchandise, so all of it's been good from that standpoint. But you know, it's rough right now. Is the time when we'd be ramping up to get ready for events and everything else. You know, we've had the MAC tournament the past couple of years at the ballpark, the MAC baseball championship college tournament. And it always happens Memorial Day weekend, and we'd be getting into that Wednesday, in theory, if that was going on. So it's tough not to have events at the ballpark right now. It's what we do, and certainly, obviously, you guys as well with the bowling alley there. I mean, we run events, so it's so tough to not be doing that right now.
Yeah, and these events, I'm sure, help you get ready for the season. You kind of you get to work out some of the kinks before the actual season starts. So here we are without that opportunity, and the season's going to start, and whatever it might look like, right?
Yeah, and that's the toughest thing is, you know, we just don't know. We don't have those answers yet. We're just in a waiting game with it all. So, you know, we're making sure that, you know, when we get told, we can kind of flip that switch and have events in whatever form they're going to be, that we're ready to go with it. So.
Yeah, and so for the two of you, you want to nip some rumors in the butt, right? So for years, the teams on the chopping block, changes in the league. So what's really happening as far as the organization is concerned and the future of the Staten Island Yankees? And I would include the Cyclones in that, because I think there's information that's being shared about both teams and the organizations that could affect each other.
Yeah, I think there's not a lot of information, unfortunately, right now that's being shared, but this offseason's been full of a lot of rumors and speculation. So in a nutshell, and I don't want to bore you, I could go on for days about this, and I don't want to go on for days. So you put up your hand and I'll see you and I'll shut up. So minor league baseball and Major League Baseball are bound by an operating agreement, and it's been a 30-year deal. It started in 1991, and it'll expire at the end of 2020. And so all last, we were talking about trying to update that for a while. We started made aware of the process in the fall, around October-ish, probably the end of October, we started being made aware of the process. And so it got leaked publicly. We didn't know a lot about it. And Major League Baseball, again, put forth a proposal to alter the minor leagues. So they wanted to essentially reduce the number of teams dramatically. Right now, they're about 160 across the country, and they wanted to bring that down to about 120. So there's 30 major league clubs, so that would be 4 per team. And right now, for instance, the Yankees have 6. So, even more than that if you count some of the smaller leagues in California or Florida leagues. So, anyway, there was a list reported in the New York Times of quote unquote a hit list, and we were on it. So the Brooklyn Cyclones are not. Again, it was a proposal way back when that was leaked somehow. We weren't ever privy to it. I've never seen it to this day. But nevertheless, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I understand a lot has been going on trying to renew that agreement going forward. There continues to be a lot of speculation, a lot of rumor, of which I don't know what's true and what isn't. But if you Google it, you'll find it. But unfortunately, it's possible that Staten Island Yankees wouldn't exist beyond 2020. It's certainly something we've been fighting for. You mentioned Max Rose prior to this. You and Nazareth were talking about the bill for youth sports, and he wrote a letter on behalf of us last week, and President James Otto signed it as well, too, to send to Hal Steinbrenner, basically requesting that the Yankees remain part of the New York Yankees family of 4 minor league teams. So we just don't know really what the future holds, unfortunately, right now. But it seems likely, if you follow the rumor in the news, that Major League Baseball is going to reduce minor league baseball by at least 40 teams, 25%. And like I said, originally it was reported we were on the list. Again, I've never seen the list, but I believe it was out there at some point, sometime. But there's been a lot of manipulating. There's been a lot of, in good ways and in bad ways, but I think that list has changed a lot over the offseason. So we don't really know what the future is. And when you couple that with the uncertainty of the 2020 season, it's a tricky time. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we want to be able to continue to provide affordable family entertainment, just as you guys do at Rabs, for our community. And certainly COVID-19 presented many different challenges, many new challenges regarding that. But this PBA, the Professional Baseball Agreement, and that continued evolution of the continuance of that document, it's got us on edge a little bit as well, too. So we're just not sure. I believe, some of what I read and some of what I hear, but you just don't know which part to believe. So we continue to just kind of wait with bated breath to see what kind of the agreement says. Major League Baseball has ensured that every city that loses baseball potentially will be offered an opportunity to exist in some form or fashion. So there's opportunities of another league that they're potentially going to support, or we're going to be affiliated with somehow. Different names have been thrown about: Dream League, Prospect League, not really sure, but could be an opportunity for us to continue to play baseball at Richmond County Bank Ballpark for sure. Unfortunately, the details are scant and we just don't know a lot about it yet. So we'll see what happens as we go forward. But unfortunately, I think this COVID-19 situation certainly and obviously has supplied a new stream of challenges for them. And they're continuing just right now to try to figure out Major League Baseball, forget about minor league baseball, I think, unfortunately, and we're at the mercy of both of those things. Well, I said a lot.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's perfect. We talk about everything, and you could talk for days. It doesn't really matter. They're listening. So with that said, the minor league business is very important to MLB, right? And so, how do you take that and not have that opportunity? What does that look like? How many players are actually in the minor league system, across the board?
I mean, 6,000, something like that. A couple hundred per organization, 30 organizations.
And then so take that and that small percent that actually make their way to the professional team in some capacity, but many of them do wind up with some sort of positions. So that's how they groom their athletes. So to see that at a much smaller scale, I wonder what that would look like. Independent.
Well,
yeah, I'm sorry.
And I think as well too. I always say when talking to people, younger people, a lot of times we speak, we have students visit, we have interns, everything else. When you're giving advice or when you're thinking about things, a lot of times I assimilate my experiences just in college with, I went to school for mechanical engineering, so I don't use very much of it on a day-to-day basis at all. But I'd say half of what I learned in college is simply learning how to live life and interact with people and be a part of a community. And so I think a lot of that happens for these young kids at a low age, 18, 19-year-old kids that come to play in Staten Island right out of high school or right out of the Dominican Republic or somewhere else. They're just learning how to live life. So I think, unfortunately, reducing the number of levels of baseball, if that's what happens, you're going to have way fewer chances for them to live life, frankly, and really develop physically as well as just emotionally.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame to see that possibly be reduced. So what do you guys think about the major league plans and what they have put forth so far?
I'll give TJ that one.
Yeah, TJ.
Yeah, I mean, it's a drastic change from what it's been. The talk is reducing it by 25%. And I think there's been so many different reports. You don't know what's true and what's not. And really, like Will said, we only know sometimes kind of what we read in the press about it. But it sounds like, baseball operations people around the game, some of them, don't love it. They want more prospects. I've often heard prospects referred to as like lottery tickets, and teams want as many of those as possible because you don't know who's going to pan out, in the long run. So you want as many of those in your system as humanly possible. So really kind of seeing, where they go along the way and having them under their umbrella so they can kind of learn the Yankee way for us specifically. That's always been big. So it would be a drastic change and very different to, what it's always been. Certainly if any plan does go through that is similar to that, it would be, adapting quite a bit and changing for every organization out there. And frankly, the ripple effects to college baseball and everything else is drastic. They're talking about limiting the draft and not having as many rounds there in the future. And then, that just means more prospects in college ball and just as time goes on. So yeah, you just don't know what the ripple effects are. I think it's going to be far and wide. Not as many kids getting drafted out of high school and everything else. So it's kind of crazy to think about how much this would change the game of baseball.
Yeah, and so what do you guys anticipate the start of the season looks like? I'm assuming you guys have put some plans into place of what it could really look like, but you get the go to start the season as planned. What might that look like?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think we know. We've made a lot of plans. We've talked a lot. I think when it comes to social distancing, we could certainly put plans in place. We could limit the number of fans for certain events if needed. Additionally, but I thought months ago, I started thinking about how do we prepare food differently? How do we serve food differently? And not from the perspective of are we keeping it safe, but as much as the perception of are people going to want to buy it if it's not pre-wrapped and open and things like that. We've talked about trying to buy sealed food and just selling cold things and things like that. But I think unfortunately we're more at the mercy of the government officials and what they'll allow us to do. That's the hard part and trying to guesstimate what we're doing there. And it's interesting because, the minor leagues are loaded with individuals like TJ and me, and they're loaded with community members like you both, and they're loaded with business partnerships and everything else. But they're also coming from, our league, the New York Penn League. I don't know, it's represented, and I'm number wrong, but 8 states, 10 states. So we're under 8 different governors, 10 different governors' plans of action to reopen. So really hard when you start looping those things together. We're not an independent business that only operates by themselves. We operate within that league of 14 teams. And so it makes it really hard. So we've done some homework, do have some plans in place for how to clean the ballpark differently and how to separate people differently. But again, it's Frank, for instance, you have tickets to the ball game, and if you come and you bring your family and you want to sit next to each other, go for it. But if you give those tickets out to somebody else and someone else comes to the game and uses them, 4 different people, 2 groups of 2, they don't want to sit next to each other. How do you start moving things around? And then that affects the seats next to you, behind you, and everything else. So those have been really interesting, frankly, just try to think of those examples and scenarios. But I think until we get a better idea of the go-ahead, we're not going to really know. And frankly, I think we're waiting a lot here for Major League Baseball, and we hope like heck they can get a plan together with the Players Association. I think that's the next step in which determines where baseball goes next, and before even a lot of the different governors' plans and how they institute them. But I think they start there, and then we hear more, and then we go from there. So unfortunately, I don't think we're close to understanding when we can start. And I mean, the amount of decisions and the amount of things that go into advance. I mean, hiring, staffing, but then hotels and travel and bus lines and how much you rely on other people and vice versa to pull this off. It's we have all our plans in place. We're a month out. Today's, I don't know if you recognize that or not, if you did this intentionally, but a month from today is our opening day. That's when the season begins. 1 month from today, we go to Brooklyn, and then we're home the next night. So we're a month out, and we really don't have clarity on no one's told us that we're not playing and the players aren't showing up, but I think common sense just tells us a little different.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same boat too, and you got to ask, and I ask because we're trying to prepare just like you are, and what that looks like. It's even like, do you put seat numbers on your tickets? Right. And to your point, do people show up at the gate and go, okay, well, how many in your party? So many. Same thing with food service here. I will say our providers, Cisco US Foods, provided us some great tools. But every time I turn around, we're spending more money to accommodate those needs to the best of our ability. So what does it look like? Yeah, we don't know. And we're truly in the same boat. And I appreciate that. Hey, on a more positive note, you guys have really done some great work in the last few years, rebranding, reworking things in the stadium. Talk about the plans that outside of COVID, right? So outside of this pandemic, we're getting ready to start the season. What was the new season going to look like? What was in the plans of getting rolling in the ballpark?
Yeah, so we're constantly looking at our promotions, what we're doing, retooling, looking at last year, what worked well. This year we were doing free T-shirt Fridays. So every Friday was going to be a different T-shirt giveaway. There were going to be unique graphics on the T-shirts. We were really excited about it. We had a few good ones in the hopper that we hope to debut here sometime soon. A couple unique bobbleheads. We were really focused on doing appearances this upcoming year from celebrities. So we actually had Stanley from The Office.
From The Office, right?
And so he's scheduled August 1st. So some different things. We haven't done a ton of appearances, especially bigger appearances like that. From non ex-baseball players. We've certainly had plenty of those in the past, autograph sessions and things like that. So, but a pop culture figure like that. And we got a great response to that. We have put tickets on sale for that, and the response was outstanding. So, yeah. So again, always doing different promotions, trying different things, and seeing what people react to. And that's always been our idea when putting promotions together, putting that schedule together. What do people like? What do people come out for? What do people ask for more of? And then doing more of those things the coming years. So yeah, that's really been was our focus this upcoming year.
Yeah, and I know food was a big focus for you guys. So talk a little bit about the food operation moving forward.
from a food service perspective, we took food and beverage in house last year, and it was great to be able to do that. We had a third party before, but this way we were able to run our concessions, from start to finish. We had all the say in how it was run and what was offered, and really could focus on that. And we felt like we had full control. And again, there's certainly some bumps in the road along the ways, but I really think middle of last year, end of last year was one of the best operations we've had in quite some time, and heard that from fans as well. So being able to do that, and then this off season we were talking about different products to add, and again working with our food and beverage provider as well, our distributor, and different offerings that they have, and really being involved in that process from start to finish was great. So yeah, we're excited to continue forward with that as well.
And your own and your own branded beer. I mean, how cool!
I was just gonna say,
yeah. Pizza Rats Pilsner, it's outstanding. Flagship has been amazing partners. I mean, from the beginning. But we talked about this for a little while, and talked about the possibility of having a branded beer, and talked about different names and everything kind of came back to the Pizza Rats Pilsner. It made the most sense. It's an outstanding beer that Flagship created for it. I'm not gonna lie, I have a few in my fridge right now, ready to go. But
I'm fresh out.
Yeah, it's outstanding, and they're great to work with. And initially when we started it, we were thinking of it just being like a seasonal summer beer, but then the guys at Flagship decided to make it a year-round beer, and they're canning it year-round. So we couldn't be happier with that partnership and that beer, and to be able to provide something unique like that at Richmond County Bank Ballpark is outstanding.
Frank, those are the relationships that that are just unparalleled. I mean, when it comes to what we can do in our industry, I mean, a couple of companies, local companies, walking distance apart, can get together and come up with an idea, and both want to do it, and both see the benefits for both parties and the community. And it continues to promote two different brands, two totally different brands, but great brands in our marketplace, the same as yours. I mean, the way those partnerships have worked over the years, that's what makes us minor league baseball. I mean, that's what makes us community, and we love those opportunities. That thing's been a home run, and I've been trying to do it a few different ways, a few different teams that I've worked at. And we've done some things before where you take a random beer and you put a label on it and you serve it on tap. But I always wanted to have something that was able to be sold out in the community. And I'm glad they saw the benefit of it, frankly. And, they continue to do that. It's great to see. I think I got an email a couple of days ago from them about Ralph's and the hard seltzer that they're doing in that unveil. I mean, they get it. Those guys really get it. And we're proud as heck to be partners.
Yeah, we had them on the show last a couple weeks ago, and we were talking exactly about. Actually, it was before they had planned a May 1st launch, and they couldn't launch it May 1st. They launched that partnership May 15th, sold out within an hour. So some of the distributor has it on hand and is able to get it in the marketplace, but it's awesome. And for anybody that doesn't or hasn't, you can go to the Flagship's website and order that Pizza Rats Pilsner to get it delivered at home, which is cool. To your point, that brand always in the marketplace, whether they come to the stadium or not. And so speaking of the brand, I'm a Pizza Rats fan. I think I happen to like the rebranding. I love it. I think it's cool. I'm not in camp. This is dumb. We look like rats. I think people are crazy. So is it here to stay on a short-term basis? What is what's the future of Staten Island Yankees, but our Staten Island Pizza Rats?
So, when we originally announced the rebrand, the intent was to find a new permanent brand for the Staten Island Yankees. And this is the one we selected. This is the one we wanted to go forward with. And there were some bumps in the road, frankly, that kind of made us table it for a little bit till we worked those bumps in the road out. Again, we're a community team. We want to be a part of the community. We certainly want to do anything negative for the community. We never viewed it that way. to this day, I mean, TJ was at the office today filling 20 merchandise orders that we got over the weekend. TJ, I don't even know the answer. You can answer this, but I mean, I'm going to guess most of them were Pizza Rats related merchandise, and as opposed to Staten Island Yankees merchandise. So, I mean, the public's spoken, and it's been extremely well received. So, but nevertheless, we created a situation where I think everybody was happy. Some of the major power players that, wanted to have a voice in this, were happy with us creating the promotion, creating it as a promotion. So to this day, we continue to offer to play. We play as the Pizza Rats on Saturday nights. And I think in a limited opportunity, we continue to do that. As far as a permanent rebrand, I don't know. I mean, again, that hasn't even come up a lot. I think we found some success in what we're doing and we like it. We think we're one of the few teams that really has something like this that's out there. But yeah, we're wildly proud about it. There was a lot of thought went into it, a lot of science that went into it. And it is a really, really fun brand that it's great to see pass around. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have talked about and are aware of the King of Staten Island and Pete's movie that he's got coming out. And they shot at the ballpark a little bit last year. And yeah, TJ sent me a link last week where they did, conversations in advance of promotion leading up to the movie. And, there's Judd Apatow, their director and producer, wearing in Pizza Rats We Trust t-shirt on that video that was seen all over the place. So, it's the right brand, and it was a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, and I'm glad people recognize that, and especially you recognize that too, Frank.
Yeah, and I loved it. We talked about this in the beginning, but a couple of years ago, you put out a poll. You got the consumers involved in this, so it was a vote, suggestions. I mean, and there were some crazy things that were suggested. But I think that I want you to tell a little bit of the story. The misconception. Well, one, the Yankees are such an iconic brand, right? Who would want to lose that? But at the same time, the team needs their own identity. And I was in El Paso, and I went to a game there, and the El Paso Chihuahuas. I mean, who would be proud to be called a damn Chihuahua? So, but again, it's the culture of minor league baseball with all this, these crazy mascots and these crazy teams. So there's a question about, hey, what is a Pizza Rat per se? But just talk a little bit about the culture there that drives these mascots and the decisions here relative to the branding of these teams.
I mean, I think that so we used a branding company that's worked with a lot of minor league teams, markets, cities, communities, and they've had a lot of success. And so we followed their model. We listened to them. We paid them money as a consultant to advise us in a field we admittedly don't know a ton about. And so, a couple of things that went into it are, for instance, you want an underdog animal as like a mascot. Animals are better as mascots as opposed to, bats and balls and rocks and things that are not living, breathing items. So you want an underdog animal as a mascot, and you want something that's representative of where you live. And so they try to take things and flip them. So like the Chihuahuas, like it's a tiny little barking dog, but they made it aggressive looking, and it's the number one logo in minor league baseball. Now it helps that they're a brand new AAA team with a new facility and everything else worked in their favor as well too. But this goes back to the Iron Pigs, and this goes back to a lot of things that they have out there. And then food has been really popular as a temporary rebrand, as a promotion around the country. So the Rochester Red Wings, something up there is called the garbage plates. And I don't know exactly what is all into it, but it's some kind of like pasta and food. And I probably was created in a restaurant with leftover stuff all put on a plate. And they call it the garbage plate. A lot of people have them around there. So they play as the garbage plates, and the logo just sells out bonkers. And then the next year they came back, and I think they played as like the Rochester garbage plates again. They changed the logo, and it was an empty plate with like food remnants and like a knife and a fork on a plate because someone ate the whole thing. So these are the things that people see as trendy, and as the community is reacting to positively. And so we had the great opportunity to combine, a food and a local animal. I spoke to someone really high up in politics who I'll keep out of it. I'll keep his name out of it at this time. But I said, so when you're thinking of, New York City, like what are some animals that you think about? Look, it's New York City. There's not a lot of animals. We don't nittany lions and, oysters. And although I heard there used to be, but, and it was like pigeons. And you're like, yeah, rats. Yeah. Like, so we flip it. And that's a big part about the science of it behind it is they flip the script, and whatever you think you're going to get, this isn't what people thought that they were going to get was, a chef with a slice of pizza folded in half, because that's how you eat it in New York City. That's a cartoony guy walking down the street. And the more that you think about it, and admittedly it shocked us all too, but the more you think about it and you start putting things together, like Disney, Mickey Mouse, there's a mouse is their number one, iconic logo and leader of their brand. And you think about it, you're like, well, what's the difference? Now, I know there's a 70, 80, 100-year history there, but you got to start someplace. So anyway, it was a well thought out process. There was a lot that went into it. Definitely has a local tie and local flavor. But you want that name to grab attention. And then you want everyone, and there's a very specific process to unveiling it. You put out the potential rebrand names, you get the vote, and then you pick the one, and then you go. But, you when you announce it, you announce just the name. And then you announce the colors, and then you announce the logo or the mascot, and then you announce the logo set, and you have the hats and the t-shirts, everything ready to go. And it just gives a little bit of taste, a little bit of flavor everywhere. But you hit them with that at the end when they're thinking, a subway rat or something in the sewers or whatever else. And you hit them with a bright, fluffy, colorful logo, with an apron on and, folded slice of pizza. So anyway, that's the process behind it. That's what we wanted to come up with, was something fun and unique and for us. And yeah, I think the people have definitely spoken, and it's been, our merchandise the first year did 400% of what it did the year prior. Wow. And so people say, oh, that's all about. Well, yeah, we're a business. I mean, we didn't win or lose any more games or less games by playing in this uniform or that uniform. Yeah, we want to make money. We want to be viable for the community. We want to be around forever. And that's what we've been tasked with, was trying to improve the business all the way. So yeah, I'm not sad, or I don't apologize for that either. But again, I think, I understand it's shocking, and that's part of the beauty of it.
So the pizza rats are here to stay.
At least for the time being, right?
Yeah, I mean,
say it again.
I said, so the pizza rats are here to stay.
No. And then Nazareth, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Yeah, at least for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, and to do those games, I mean, we go to a pretty far extent at the Pizza Rat games to, change everything about it. I mean, we changed our scoreboard layout. We do the cool red and white checkerboard design around things. We change our in-game promos. Instead of like the dizzy bat race, we do a pizza peel, which is the big wooden thing that you stick in the oven and pull the pizza out of. So from a creativity standpoint, it gives us different options to do different things and different ways to entertain the crowd. It's something that fans haven't come to see, at Richmond County Bank Ballpark before. And yeah, I mean, again, we don't want to lose the Yankees name. We love the Yankees name. But there's only so much you can do with it. It's not our brand to go out and do crazy things with. So to have your own brand that you can really do anything with, there's certainly advantages to that.
Yeah, and it's cool because you've embraced the color scheme of the original Staten Island Yankees logo, and then rebranded through the Yankees branding, right? So it's very clean. It's the Yankees signature logo, just Staten Island, where before you had all the other design work. So, and I think the Pizza Rats has that awesome story. I go back to Greg Monker's WPIX news story where the rat was carrying the pizza. I mean, there's legitimacy to this.
Again, from just putting, like Will said, kind of an underdog animal and a food item together into one name. It was kind of the best of all worlds when it comes to minor league baseball rebranding and logos and everything else. So it's worked out great. I mean, we get merch orders from around the country. I'm amazed still. Like, again, I went in this morning to the ballpark and I fulfilled some merch orders, California, Texas, and Staten Island and, Brooklyn and New York. Like, it's coming from all over, and it's majority Pizza Rat stuff because, again, it's a unique brand. And when you're a Yankee fan, like, if you're a New York Mets fan, you don't want to wear Staten Island Yankees stuff. Even if it is your hometown team, you're from Staten Island, you don't necessarily want to wear Staten Island Yankees things. This gives you an opportunity to wear something Staten Island, professional baseball team related. Staten Island Pizza Rats gives you that opportunity. So, yeah, again, us, it's the best of all worlds.
It's funny you say that. We're Mets fans, and I don't own anything Staten Island Yankees that hasn't been given to me. And I don't really wear it. I have a hat. I'm proud of our team. Right. But I do have a Pizza Rats sweatshirt and T-shirt that I will wear. So yeah, subliminally, I guess we don't realize that is so true.
It was.
Go ahead, Will.
It was pointed out to us, when we went through this, that, we had some season ticket holders that are diehard, and look, we're split in a major league city where there's two different things. And so, yeah, we wanted to develop that own brand and identity. And even, Frank, you're supporting us totally all the time, but I understand why you might not wear a Yankees related thing if you're a Mets fan. But that was definitely part of it as well, too.
Yeah. And I think this is the Staten Island Yankees how many seasons now are we in for the team?
21st this year. We started in 1999, did 2 years at the College of Staten Island, and then 2001 is when Richmond County Bank Ballpark opened. Yeah,
and so to that point, we take this it's one of those things that we take for granted, and you guys know it through the attendance. We need to get more people to that stadium, and in order to keep it a viable business and to keep the attraction on the North Shore. It's there. It's a great experience for everybody that wants to go out. And you can't go anywhere else to get that beautiful, watch a game, enjoy, have a beer, have a hot dog, whatever it might be, and see that view of Manhattan. And then get fireworks on certain nights. Where else could you go to get that experience? And we just take it for granted that it's there. And I just wish more people would take advantage of it. So what are you looking forward to? Again, forget about what we're going through right now, but what are you looking forward to moving forward? What truly, how do we propel and keep the team viable? But Will, you've been there for a few years now, and what's next?
I think just getting back to the ballpark, having fans come in and get that experience of fresh cut grass and hot dogs and just simple times and community. Look, we've always wanted to be a gathering place, as I'm sure you are as well, too. I mean, you're a place where people congregate, come together, see each other weekly, monthly, whatever it is. We want to be that place as well, too, where people do it in mass. So we'll see what people can, do with social distancing or anything else going forward. And again, taking that out of consideration, just getting back to the basics of being able to go out and sit down and have a beer and have a hot dog and have a soda and look across the water at a nice night weather-wise out in a great community. That's all I think we can hope for and ask for. And I think as people want to do that, I think people are starved for doing that. Provide that in the safest possible environment, which again, we're an outdoor venue. So I think we feel lucky in that respect. Like I think we're happy that, we're a space where you can breathe clean air. And I think, again, I'm not going to get into the science of it, but I think people will naturally feel pretty comfortable with being out in a public space like that. That's open air. So, I think people are chomping at the bit. We give them the opportunity to be able to go out and try to do it. And I think that they'll show up. And, as we continue, frankly, you mentioned developing the North Shore and the community. I mean, we're way ahead of the curve compared to a lot of other projects that are still ongoing. We have a lot of faith in the Empire Outlets. Heck, I have a lot of faith in the New York Wheel. I know that's a weird one to maybe say, but I think things are going to move on that property again one day. And so do we need to stem the tide here a little bit? We do. But we're excited as heck for people to keep coming out and wanting to get back outside and do some simple things and be around people again. And we like to think that we provide a real big open space for people to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And in your time there, what are you the most proud of?
I mean, the rebrand was pretty special. It was a lot of hard work to go through that and taking a lot of lumps. The All-Star game last year was great. Seeing Jahn inducted into the New York Penn League Hall of Fame was wonderful. Frankly, one of the least sexier things was just working closely with the city to improve our landlord-tenant relationship. It was hurting a lot there, and so we were able to make some changes to that, which again doesn't get a lot of press and shouldn't, but being able to work more closely together and have a real true partnership with the city and the EDC on that has been, I think, probably one of the best things I've done for the business that I'll take some credit for anyway. That's been a big part of it. So, continuing to just keep it going, continuing to kind of hold that, carry that water and continuing to make the place a better place than we found it, I think is what we keep striving to do. I really would like to see the continued redevelopment of the neighborhood, and that extends to Lighthouse Point and everything else as well too, and tying in Irby. I mean, there's a lot of great things with a lot of private money that's really being done on the North Shore of Staten Island. And So being a part of that, I think in some way, shape or form, and being included in that, remember Destination St. George, when that was big a couple of years ago, and we started really marketing that whole area. I mean, we were an anchor in that, and that I was prideful about that, just being a part of it, I think, and around for this renaissance, and we hope it only continues to flourish here going forward.
Yeah, and you've done a great job too. Yeah. So thank you, Will. Hey, TJ, what are you looking forward to in your new role?
Yeah, just I mean, for me, just learning more parts of the business that I didn't get an opportunity to participate, too much in before. So again, I hadn't gotten involved too much in food and beverage previously. So getting more involved on that end of things. And then again, just getting out into the community, getting to know more people. Just learn from other people, whether it be in the industry or in the community, and developing those relationships more. Again, the longer you're at a certain place, the more you get to know people and develop those relationships. So yeah, looking forward to all those things. And like Will said, I mean, the developments and everything, I mean, that's one reason why I love, Staten Island from the beginning, was just all the possibilities. I mean, when I got there, it was, Empire Outlets, New York Wheel, Irby down the street, Lighthouse Point. There's so much going on. And I mean, for a minor league baseball team to be in, the tourist capital of the world as well, there's a lot of opportunities there. And it's unlike, really any other minor league team outside of Brooklyn. I mean, no one else gets those opportunities. So I mean, just it's tremendous, and want to keep on seeing it through here, and can't wait to see what we can do in the future.
Yeah, and to that point, with the success of a lot of the other teams, I use El Paso is a great example. The Reno Aces, the way that they've situated their stadium, and Reno is still under construction in that downtown area, where you basically could walk the streets and you just dump yourself into the stadium. And that's what we ultimately want there at the ballpark, right? So if the outlets are successful, the wheel comes back to life, the point, all the things you talk about, you could truly you want that to be the walk-up promenade. You want to be able to be a part of something more than just going there for a game. And it works. And I will tell you, El Paso, as such as that small downtown area is, we were just walking around and poof, we stumbled on it. We weren't looking for it. We were just there and say, hey, and go check it out. In Reno, great, another, like I said, good example, same thing happens there. And then when they redevelop more of kind of like what we're doing, it's going to have more of that feel. The only mistake in that ballpark, I don't know if you've been there, the seats don't face home plate. It's bizarre. Poorly designed. It's beautiful on the outside. They got a great tap room.
What are they?
They just all the seats face straight. So just one little detail. Hey, there's a comment and a suggestion from one of our viewers, a fan. Before the game, you always have players sign and selling baseballs and used equipment. No, I take that back. How about selling some of the used equipment, bowling, broken bats and stuff? That's something you guys do already?
Yep, we do. We sell it in the team store during our games. So, cool. That stuff's tougher to ship. And frankly, we put it on sale in the team store for, I think a broken bat is what, $10, $15, something to get a piece of game used equipment. Pretty cool. And frankly, they sell out quickly. So we're constantly, anytime we see a broken bat, we talk to the clubby and get those in the team store. So definitely one of those unique things you can get at the ballpark.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And you know what? You think about this, it could be a broken bat from a future.
You never know who it's going to be.
That's very true.
You never know.
Hey, I really thank you guys so much for taking the opportunity to join us today. We do appreciate it really much. So we're really looking forward to getting back in action and having a baseball season.
Yeah. Nazareth, Frank, thanks a lot. Yeah, I really look forward to getting back to your golf tournament, buddy. I'm sorry about that one this year.
We're sorry too.
That has become the one time a year I golf, unfortunately. And my scores probably show it, but boy, is it a good time and for a great cause. So thanks very much. We appreciate being a part of it too, and look forward to getting back out there.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And we appreciate the partnership over the years. we've done some great things together, and we'll continue to do so moving forward. But thank you, and for those that are watching, when baseball season starts and you can get out there, it's inexpensive. It's a great night,
and it's a great. The place is great. It's really great, very accessible, and great. The field is great. I love going there. I live not that far from there. We walk right down the hill. We go to.
I love it.
All the time.
It's fantastic. No, it's great. Yeah, we look forward to continued development in that area and a lot more opportunities coming around, and can't wait to get back and like I said, experience that good outdoor camaraderie. So
cool. Hey, thanks again, guys. Good luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Stay healthy.
Good luck. Stay safe. Yep, you guys too.
Thanks, guys. You know, I say it a lot, but we really do take
it for granted.
We do, and more people need to go out and experience that ballpark. And today's and we didn't touch about this, but it's true that today's consumer goes to a baseball game very differently than the average sports consumer.
Yes.
People, it's more about the experience. It's the venue, the food,
right,
the drinks. It's not always about the game.
Right, the game,
and it kind of bothers me a little bit too.
But it's something for everybody. If that's you know what I like about it is it's a opportunity for a family who probably could not afford to go to a Major League Baseball game to actually go to a game and experience. You know, I mean, it wasn't around when I was a kid. I would have loved that when I was younger. But you know, it's super affordable. The food, the ticket, everything is affordable. And listen, you can hop right on the train wherever you are throughout Staten Island. I don't want to say it dumps you right there, but it puts you right there, right at the stadium. So yeah, I love that.
And to be able to, I would have to say that promenade is so, when in the nice weather turns, to walk around even before the game, after the game, to go down the postcards, the memorial.
There,
and a lot of it's closed off because of the wheel project, but that parking garage has made it easier to enjoy the game and not go down. And it's getting there. But go when season starts. Be sure to.
Well, now even with the garage that they opened for the outlets, it's parking even closer now.
And it's misconception because you got to drive down. You got to drive down into it, but then when you pull back in, you really it's a quick walk.
There. It's right there.
People think, oh, it's so far. It's really
no. When the first garage opened, I think it was the first garage that was really parking for the ferry.
Right.
The one that was further up on the terrace. Even that's not that far.
It's not far. It's not at all. So thank you, Will and TJ.
Yes.
Baseball's coming soon.
Hopefully.
Hey, speaking of our partnership with the Staten Island Yankees over the years, today's old photo comes to us. One of our anniversary photos comes to us from the Richmond County Bank Ballpark. We've been a partner of the team for quite some time, and we introduced human bowling together.
Great times we had there. All the kids, grandkids, we had a great time.
So this is, and I think that Scooter and I think Huck is down there. When the other mascots, I think that's who I see down there.
Are they going to have a pizza rat mascot?
No, we're gonna have to find out.
What did they ask them?
Or a big slice of pizza. I like the rat.
I like the rat.
Although, wait, if people saw a big rat, they're gonna think of unions out there.
Oh, not the inflatable one. Yes, yeah.
So
no, I think that would be pretty funny.
That would be funny. I'm for it.
Engage the young kids. I think get those kids down in the park.
Big old rat. I mean, Scooter's awesome. Scooter's.
But it's not gonna. He's like he called it a fluffy, furry rat. Not a scary, scrunchy.
Fluffy.
Yeah, he called it fluffy.
Fluffy. Hey, since we're talking sports, today's meme of the day is not just a meme; it's a video.
It's a video, and it's funny.
I don't know how many people have seen this and floating around the web the last couple days. I don't even know where this is. This is North Carolina, I believe, and tennis courts opening up. Oh, we have to show this. This is pretty funny.
Every player, unless they're from the same household, has to bring their own tennis balls so that you don't touch other people's those tennis balls with your hands. Great confusion between whose balls are whose. You can use a marker, like a Sharpie, to mark out, to put an X, and put someone's initials on them. I would just say, every player, unless they're from the same household, has to bring their own tennis balls so that you don't touch other people's tennis balls.
You have to play it again?
Yeah, I totally missed the timing on that one. That's funny stuff. That is funny stuff.
If she would have just repeated tennis balls every time she said it, she would have been. But she started laughing herself, trying to keep it straight.
She did it. She called it out that she was going to blush.
Yeah.
Oh, anybody just get a quick glimpse of Michael headed out under the masking unit there, heading in the back. So, that was funny. Baseball. We had this theme. We had Brooklyn baseball, and we're back tomorrow. We've talked a lot. Staten Island Yankees today. Naz, tomorrow live.
Through Staten Island.
Who's with us tomorrow?
Jimmy Otto and his beard will be joining us tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Listen, get your questions ready because he is straightforward, straight talker. And if you have a question about something that's going on Staten Island or something you don't want to happen on Staten Island, this is your chance. Ask away.
Yeah, and he's been, we've said this, he's been a great advocate for our communities, and we're basically going to, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the things that he's accomplished in his time, what to look forward to. Hey, there are some opportunities out there during this time.
And he's championing a few things right now, too. So it'll be interesting to see what he's got on his plate.
Oh.
And maybe we'll ask him about food too.
We'll have to ask him about food.
We know he likes to talk about food.
He does like to,
food,
especially pizza.
Yeah.
Speaking of plates, what's on the dinner plate tonight? You don't know?
I think I didn't make the steaks last night. I think I'm going to make them tonight.
Ray
Ray
approves.
is happy. Yeah. So I think that's what we got. And probably salmon. I have some salmon. I'm gonna defrost and stick it on the grill. That's what I think. What's happening for you today?
We're grilling burgers tonight. I'm gonna grill some burgers. I'm in the mood for a burger. Last night, my sister-in-law cooked. We had dinner with her and the kids, and she cooked nice pork, vegetables. It was nice. It was nice to just do something out of the norm.
Yeah.
A little change of pace for a Sunday.
I will say,
with our fellow quarantining friends.
I added a new thing to my food repertoire.
Oh,
that will be staying.
Oh,
on Saturday, I made some smashed potatoes, and they were so easy and so, I want to say friggin' amazing. They were so good.
Now, which potatoes did you use? Like fingerling potatoes, or like the little Yukon Golds?
Actually, I used the small potato. I think they were Yukon Golds. They came in the Misfits box, and they came out amazing.
I might actually do that tonight with the burgers. I've got the fingerlings, the small ones.
And that's what we did. I did a barbecue, smashed them, boil them until they're fork ready. You know, stick it with the fork. I don't know what you call that, fork something.
Kevin, yes, Fran and Christy cooked last night, but yes, Fran did cook, and she cooked a really nice meal.
Very nice.
Check that out. You aren't invited. Sorry, Kevin.
So yeah, I will be making those again tonight, I believe. Even though we don't really usually eat a lot of starch or potatoes, but I'll be making them again.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, here and there is not so bad.
Here and there is not so
Keep
bad.
them out, you know. Yeah, the rest of the week is shaping up nice. We've got some great guests. We're going to keep talking food. Thursday, weekly check-in with Pam Silvestri. I had a conversation with her earlier today, talking about business and the landscape and what it's looking. And there are challenges in the times that we have today, and she's writing a few pieces on that. And what does the restaurant business look like tomorrow? We've talked a lot about it here, but now tomorrow is soon going to become a reality. And we've talked about this too, the fact that we're going to learn so much more from the states that have already opened and are opening by the time we get to open. And it's changing. You know, our businesses are going to open up in a lot of debt that we've incurred over the last few months. What does it look like? Can we eat outside? Can we eat outside? We've already saw.
That was a disaster, by the way. They should have closed those restaurants down. I'm sorry.
However,
there is no way you should have people right now.
You shouldn't. You're not allowed to open. Stay closed.
Actually, I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. Yeah, people. How do they? If they're not supposed to be open, they have
kahunas. They got kahunas.
People sitting in the restaurants,
and then out across the street,
and people everywhere.
Yeah, no, not good. Not good. And you can't tell me that, oh, these are all takeout orders and we just put they brought their own tables and chairs.
People sitting inside.
Yeah. Can we just be patient? Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be closed.
We're all anxious to get back to it. I'm anxious to open my business. We need it to happen.
But things like that don't help. You want to go out and hold a sign and picket and protest, fine. But doing things like that only make it worse for the rest of us, because now you're pushing the envelope too far. The gym in New Jersey that was all over the news today, this morning. This one gym is opening up, and I mean they're doing the right things, but they're not supposed to be open. Let's get there. And I get it.
You do that. So if we decided tomorrow, can we open? We're not supposed to.
And then what? And then we get the repercussions of that.
Ooh,
what is that?
I thought that.
Well, now they're pushing. They're shutting them down.
De Blasio said he was going to crack down on that. He was going to have policemen out, sheriffs out, and they were going to. And listen, I don't want to see anybody's business closed, but I don't want to go through what we just went through. It was horrible. Just kind of, I think people are just starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Let's not do what we always do and just fall right back into, everything's okay. And, just tamp it down, people. It's coming.
We'll get there. And the restaurants with outdoor seating, when we do get to open, will have the leg up. They're going to have the leg up because they're going to be able to use their outdoor. And I would champion this. If you have ample space to do it,
you should be allowed to do it without the
for temporary and restrictions,
just
whatever
like
it might
be.
As long as you could legally, if you could actually do it, and you just chose not to get the permits. I mean, I don't want to be sitting on a curb eating dinner.
No,
but if you have room.
Right.
And you can do it, and you can do it right. I think we should be waiving those rights, give the restaurants that opportunity, and then that would force the restaurants either, hey, we might consider this moving forward. I mean, there are some restaurants in New York Lane with plenty of space that could actually do it. And it's a couple tables, but it's something.
Right.
It's better than nothing, and let them do it, and not shut them down.
Right. But then again, like we talked about even here, like is that at least they would be combined with takeout. But if they were just going to operate that way, is that honestly? I mean, really, I'm going to open up to have a couple tables on the sidewalk. That's not. It's no. I can't pay my expenses.
None of our businesses are built on operating at half capacity or whatever that. So
we can't.
Full capacity. And listen, the cost of foods is going up. Yeah. Costs around us are going to change. Because of this, not have the opportunity to buy in bulk, because now that bulk price that I needed to run my restaurant or business, I don't need all of it because I can't run at full capacity.
Correct.
So now what happens? My prices go up.
Prices go up. So now I have to use a regular pricing.
And what I'm known for, now, I might not be able to do. Yeah. So it's certainly going to be a challenging time for all of us. And together we'll get there. This is another place where the business community might right size, so to speak. Some of them that weren't going to make it, this might just be the inevitable. At the same time, you don't want to lose the ones. We don't want to lose any businesses. No. And it just might be the faster pace and a sad way for it to happen.
Culling the herd.
Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously. It's just,
I know it's terrible. It's terrible. But you have to be on your toes. You have to be.
And I think what bothers me more, Naz, and I keep seeing comments in the silly space, lots of articles out there about business owners,
I don't really go there anymore.
Friends that are in business that they're talking about, it's going to be challenging. And then people in the silly space write back, oh, you've been in business for 29 years. You should know better. And do you think that
perception?
But everybody that owns a business is filthy rich and could pay all the bills? False. I mean, don't get me wrong. Many people
you call it this silly space for a good reason.
Yeah. And it's a shame that people are looking at business owners in that fashion.
Right.
Meanwhile, these business owners are the ones that employ people.
Yeah.
It's so disheartening.
Foregoing their own salary
Oh.
to be able to pay their employees.
Oh.
So
Well, you've been there. I've been there. Certainly do it a lot.
Yep.
And it's taken for granted.
Yeah.
Nobody realizes what we're going to come out of this. I mean, in debt, a big time. Plus, forget about the debt that we incurred. You have to go get a loan to go pay those bills because you can't make up the money. Oh wait, now your debt is even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So the loan opportunity is great. And yes, thank you for a low cost loan, but it's a loan.
Yeah, right. That still has to be paid. And yeah, listen, these are all things that I guess you could say that we're lucky enough to be dealing with these problems because, listen, there were people on Staten Island, and a lot of them that are not eating. They can't afford to buy food for their family. Whether you agree with it or not, there are a lot of undocumented workers that support restaurants and that support these businesses on Staten Island. That they can't apply for some of the things, which I'm sure makes some people happy. But in the meantime, they're not getting food, and it's sad. So you know what? Everybody has the problems that they're sitting in, and let's just all work together to come out of this together. Let's appreciate everybody's position and
and Angela makes a good point. And no matter how successful, that's very.
Angelo's
I'm sorry, I was moving on. Angela, no matter how successful you are, no one expects to be closed for 3 to 6 months, and without a doubt. And I, in all of that, I just ask that think before we comment and write. Think about the situation these people are in. You think it's easy for us? We've got hundreds of employees and people that are home that can't work, and that rely on us.
We're closed, but we're still incurring.
Right. The bills don't stop.
Right, exactly. The bills
don't get me wrong. I was able to curb some of our bills or call Verizon. I don't need the TV service now. And fortunately, in some cases, they're doing it.
Right.
Some of our services I can't cut at all.
Correct.
So we're still incurring all of those bills.
With no money coming in.
Nothing. It's all going out. It's just going out. So, and all those loans aren't being funded right away. So it's a challenging time. And I just ask, and forget about challenging times. In any time, we really need to be fair to each other, be fair to the business community, be fair to you. We're all in this together, and we'll get through it. But we really need to think about what we're saying before we go and be the keyboard warrior and say
some of it is ugly, and we don't like
it's too ugly. Yeah, and I'm not talking politics. I'm just saying in general, it's not good, and it makes you want to respond.
Yeah,
and you can't respond. I want to say, "F you." What are you nuts? But you can't. You can't. And sadly, people do. Anyway,
and it is difficult because you do not that you want to defend yourself, but it's not just yourself. It's other small businesses and other people that are struggling to get by. So listen, let's all just be kind to each other, and let's get through this.
Be thankful for what we have, what we could do. Marco says, let's play the Mega Millions, $279 million, man. I don't want all of that. So we need to pull our money and do it together.
You always say that.
I don't want all of it.
But I want a big chunk of it. I'll take half because when I start writing stuff down
that you want to do, it's all spent.
Of what I want to do, that money goes fast.
It does go fast.
And I got like 4 kids and 3 grandchildren. You're a young guy. You have pretty much.
Because you know what happens?
So you're
200 million. We create so many more problems. It doesn't. It doesn't fix the problems either.
The easy thing to say is, "Well, I'll take those problems," but you know what?
No,
you really don't want.
And that Marco's right. I'll share it. I don't need it all, and I'm the same way. And that's what we do. I love doing the pool thing, and everybody agrees, $10, whatever it might be when we do it, and we share a piece of it. To your point, yes. If I won $1 million tomorrow, I'd be very happy and I'd be excited, and I'd want it all because $1 million.
Think about how fast that would go.
$1 million.
$1
million really is not a lot of money
after what we just talked about.
Nope.
But yes,
right. Think about it. $1 million in today is really not a lot of money. So to your point, you want to pay off you want to give money to your grandchildren for college and pay off loans and pay off a mortgage. Poof, money's gone. You don't even have my spending money.
Yeah.
And $1 million, you're going to get half of it.
Yeah.
So
correct.
That's why you need the. So wait, all right. So I'm going to backtrack. That's why you need the 200 million. So that way, when you do all that, then you're good. You could give 100 people $1 million each.
My point.
Yeah. All right. So maybe you change. I just don't want all the problems. I don't want all the extra cousins that come along with it. I don't want all the extra things. That's the large. We've talked about this on the show before. But
I will do like they did in Money Heist. You will find I will be on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean. In a hot with
if you win, I'll help you out. I promise.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Well, we could with $1 million though. You could buy an island somewhere for less than that and visit it whenever you want. You know, you probably can't sustain it with 1 million.
Don't use the phone.
Just you can't use the phones. Yeah, if you're anybody that watches Money Heist, you know that you could escape, but you can't use the phones because you'll be found. Duh. I mean, come on.
That was stupid. Yeah.
You
anyway, so now you know where I am in Money House.
Yeah, so we'll have to talk about that tomorrow. We were basically giving you the rundown for the rest of the week. I love you, Uncle Frankie. Yeah, so you're welcome, Kevin. I'd be happy to give you a few bucks. You're gonna need it for when you do move south. Well, I had it here so that I can quickly exit. I love you, Uncle Frankie. He writes. So anyway, the rest of the
how Ray is doing, Brian. Ray, come on in so people can see how you're doing.
Yes, Brian asked how Ray is doing. Ray is doing good. He's been here. He's been busy in the back of the shop the last few days. He hasn't come out to visit us, so he finally visited us.
Yes,
today.
he came out today.
Sometimes I don't want to come out because where they are, the lights shine down on my head.
Yeah.
You can't see so good.
Yeah. We haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
So, the end of the week, Pro Bowler Saturday, future Hall of Famer.
Shannon O'Keefe.
Hey, she got
it.
Right. Sunday, Mike Pellegrino Sr. is going to join us on the show. We're going to have some stories.
Stories for days.
And I think the story of what he's doing now, I think is great too.
Yeah.
So looking forward to the rest of the week here. Happy Monday. I hope that you get to enjoy these nice couple of days. It's not that we had some really nice days over the weekend, and then it's okay now.
Yeah. It's going to be like in the 70s, high 60s, 70s all week. But, there's that threat of yucky weather. But that's okay.
Yeah, and of course, Ray, nice haircut from Kevin. And everybody says hello. Oh, too funny. Well, Naz, I really thank you again to Will and TJ for dropping in and joining us today. I said it yesterday. I'm going to remind you, if you're watching today and you haven't watched last episodes, go back and check them out. We've had some awesome guests, some great stories. We're going to keep doing this until further notice.
UFN.
Because our lockdown is, I don't know, it's at the end of the month. Is it next? I don't even know what it looks like, but we're going to be here until further notice every day, 2 p.m. Eastern. Join us from Inside Rabs Country Lanes.
Subscribe and like.
Share, do all those things. Tomorrow, join us. Borough President Jimmy Otto is going to be on. His beard. Man, we're going to break his chops about that. Well, we know that you've been watching because we keep it real. But Naz, most importantly,
that was awesome.
We'll see you tomorrow.